So recently, Ghost of Tsushima has finally been announced for a PC release. I'm sure there were those in the community who, were really questioning whether or not this game was even going to come to PC. I always figured that they were going to do it, but, I was just wondering when exactly it was going to happen. There is no reason in hell why this game should have taken as long as it has to come to PC. But we're finally here. The wait is over. Not completely, but the game has been announced for PC. It's coming out in May. I believe it's May the 16th. I made a community post on the channel, which has the release date in it, if I recall. The game's coming to PC. You can buy it on Steam. You can buy it on the Epic Games Store. It has everything that the console version has, plus some extra, PC exclusive features, such as unlocked frame rates, for example. It has the controller, customization and what have you. Obviously, Sony wants players to experience the game with the DualSense controller, like the rest of their games that they've released to PC thus far. But yeah, it's finally coming. It leaves a question as to what games have already been released to PC from PlayStation, and what games have, still have yet to be released. Let's take a look here. On Steam, I am on the publisher page for PlayStation Studios, and they've released, I believe, around 16 different games. I have bought most of them. I haven't bought them all. But we have games like Horizon, Zero Dawn, Days Gone, God of War, Marvel Spider-Man Remastered, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, Last of Us Part 1, Returnal, Sackboy, Uncharted, Legacy of Thieves Collection, Ratchet and Clank, Helldivers 2, and then we also have 3 games that are coming out this year. So we have 2015's Until Dawn, which was a cult hit. I love Until Dawn. I'm personally looking forward to the PC release for that game. We have Horizon Forbidden West, which I liked Forbidden West. I thought it was good. I didn't think it was better than the first game, but I did enjoy my time with it. And then we have Ghost of Tsushima, which, again, I thought was a good game. I didn't think it was great. I think the updates that they included with the game post-launch made it better. In particular, I really like the multiplayer mode that they added post-launch. I did a review on the Ghost of Tsushima multiplayer, and it was repetitive, but it was a lot of fun, and they did a really good job with that. And then, of course, we have Helldivers 2, which I've been more curious recently to try out. So those are all the games, all the PlayStation games that have been released on PC thus far. And this all goes back to the original Nvidia leak from 2021. And the list has been, updated since then. Most of the Nvidia leak came true. Not everything has come true, but most of it was accurate. So let's take a look at, what was in the original leak. I'm going to start from the bottom. So we had various games in the leak that were unannounced at the time. One of the more notable ones is Crysis 4, which, that was eventually announced that it was in development. What hasn't been announced is Time Splitters 2, which is, I guess, a remastered game that hasn't been announced. No sequel for Wreckfest. No new Metro game. Everything else has been announced. Going to Konami, we have the HD ports, remastered ports of Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3, which I did do retros for both games. I played them for the first time earlier this year and uploaded retros for those. Yeah, both of those came true. There's also the upcoming Volume 2 of the Metal Gear Solid collection, which should include, I believe, Metal Gear Acid, or I think it's Metal Gear Portable Ops, Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots, which is going to be the big one, as well as the remake of Metal Gear Solid 3, which is supposed to be coming out sometime later this year. Going to Bandai Namco, Tekken 8 was unannounced at the time of this Nvidia leak. But that game has since come out, and it's fantastic. If you haven't played Tekken 8 and you're a fan of fighting games, do yourself a good service and go and purchase the game, because it's really good. It has my seal of approval. Okay, going from there, we have Microsoft. Gear 6 was in the Nvidia leak. We don't know what the actual game is going to be called, but that should have a check mark next to it. And then there was the PC release of Halo 5 Guardians, which has not come true. Halo 5 is the only Halo game that is not on PC. All of the other games are on PC through the Master Chief Collection, not including Halo Wars, which was like a spin-off title. But yeah, Halo 5 unfortunately has not been announced for a PC release, which is strange because every other game once again is on Steam for that particular franchise. Moving up, we have Capcom here. These were all the games that were listed in the Nvidia leak. None of them at the time were announced, and all of them have come true. Monster Hunter 6 is currently in development. Dragon's Dogma 2 is coming out later this month, in about 2 weeks. The Resident Evil 4 remake came out last year. It ended up being my favorite game that came out last year, and it became one of the best remakes released to date. And it became a Game of the Year nominee, and rightfully, deservedly so. And then we had Street Fighter 6 that also came out last year, which also was good. I don't know about great, but it was good. I really liked Street Fighter 6. Moving up, we have Warner Brothers. It's getting harder to care about anything that Warner Brothers does. They're clearly one of the worst publishers in the industry right now, which is unfortunate after, given their success of Hogwarts Legacy. But I guess they didn't really have much to do with that, other than, being the game's publisher. At the time, it was stated that a remaster for Arkham Knight was going to be released, which doesn't really make any sense. I played Arkham Knight on PC a few weeks ago, and the game looks fine. It really doesn't need a remaster. Yeah, I'm not sure where that particular part of the Nvidia leak came from. Injustice 3 was a part of this leak for Nvidia, but apparently the game was in development, and during the development, Warner Brothers wanted a new Mortal Kombat game because they figured it would sell more, and so they had NetherRealm Studios basically turn the project from Injustice into what is now Mortal Kombat 1, which is Mortal Kombat 12. That did come true. Going to EA, there was supposed to be a Mirror's Edge remaster, which again doesn't really make much sense. The Mirror's Edge franchise hasn't really taken off, and the last one I believe flopped, which is Mirror's Edge Catalyst. So I don't suspect this is ever going to come true. Respawn actually had 2 different games that were announced. They were going to develop a first-person shooter Star Wars game, but because of all the industry layoffs that have taken place recently, that game has since been canceled. And the only game that we know of from Respawn that's in development right now is the 3rd Star Wars Jedi game. I'm not sure, if the untitled Respawn game refers to the canceled first-person shooter Star Wars game or something else. Going to Sega, there's basically 4 games here. 2 of them have come true, with Judgment, which I believe is a spin-off from the Yakuza series, which is now known as Like a Dragon, and then the Total War franchise. There was another game with that was released. Shin Megami Tensei 5 is actually coming to PC. It's called, I believe, Shin Megami Tensei 5 Judgment. Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. Yeah, that's coming to PC June the 21st of 2024. So later this year. I've never played the Shin Megami Tensei series before. I would like to try it out. I think it's a turn-based game, but I don't know for sure. I need to do more research on that. And from Take-Two, apparently there was a BioShock game that was supposed to come out in 2022. That did not happen. Apparently there was supposed to be a remaster of the first BioShock. That did not happen. And apparently there was supposed to be an XCOM 3 announced and released. Instead, the company that makes the XCOM games released Marvel's Midnight Suns instead, and I'm sure a lot of people had an issue with that. But BioShock 4 is in development. That has been confirmed. That was confirmed years ago. We just don't know what it's called, haven't seen anything of it, no screenshots, no gameplay, nothing. But it is in development. Moving up to Square Enix. A lot of these have come true, including a Chrono Cross remaster, Final Fantasy VII Remake PC release that came true. The Final Fantasy IX Remake, that hasn't been announced yet. It's just been rumored that it's in development. After what they've done with the remake project for Final Fantasy VII, I honestly wouldn't want them to remake any other Final Fantasy game, to be fully honest. About the only Final Fantasy game that would absolutely need a remake would be Final Fantasy VIII, given the issues that game has. Outside of that, they could leave the rest of the series alone for the most part. We have a Final Fantasy Tactics remaster. Kingdom Hearts 4 was announced since this leak. Tomb Raider, the 25th anniversary. Square Enix sold the Tomb Raider IP to Embracer Group, and Crystal Dynamics is making the next Tomb Raider game, which they've partnered with Amazon for that. And as I released on the channel a video showcasing the redesign of Lara Croft for the next Tomb Raider game, which looks like it's going to be, they're going to be bridging both old and new for the next Tomb Raider release. So that's something to look forward to. The only difference is that the publisher is no longer Square Enix. Moving on, finally we have arrived to Sony. All of this has come true. Ghost of Tsushima was just announced for PC. God of War was released on PC. Helldivers 2 was released concurrently with the console release on PC, day 1. Horizon Forbidden West is coming to PC in about 2 weeks. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart was announced for PC, and that one is especially funny because when the PS5 originally came out, they said, oh, this game, Rift Apart, it's only possible on the PS5. Yeah, look at how that turned out. Returnal has come to PC. That was one game I suspected that they were going to keep on the PS5, but that just shows, all of this just goes to show Sony's willingness to commit to expanding their audience on the PC platform, which is needed because video game exclusivity is really going out the window, as it should. Sackboy Big Adventure came to PC, and Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection also came to PC. So there's only 2 games that haven't come to PC that are PlayStation 5 exclusives, and that's Gran Turismo 7 and Demon's Souls. Will those games come to PC? They might. Gran Turismo 7 would be the bigger of the 2. I could see that coming to PC. And Demon's Souls, I could see that coming to PC as well. And then, those are just PS5 exclusives. You got to look at their older games as well. Will they release, some of their older games on PC? Before I move on, I also forgot to mention about The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered and God of War Ragnarok and Spider-Man 2. I have no doubt those games will come to PC. Absolutely no doubt. And the Wolverine game that Insomniac is making, that was basically confirmed. It was confirmed visually in the Insomniac leaks that they're planning a PC release for that as well. So beyond the PS5 and its exclusives, if you go back to the PS4, there's really 2 games that Sony could release that would be good for a PC release. And that's Infamous Second Son and Bloodborne. There's also the Uncharted Nathan Drake collection, which has the first 3 Uncharted games in it. So they could release that to PC as well. And they've already announced a PS4 exclusive with Until Dawn. So it's not beyond the realm of possibility that they'll have other, former PS4 exclusives that will come to PC. Hell, Ghost of Tsushima, God of War, Spider-Man, Horizon Zero Dawn, those were all PS4 exclusives as well. So there you go. And then there's the question of PS3 games. The big games there would be like the HD collections of like Jak and Daxter, the original 3 Ratchet and Clank games, the Sly Cooper games. You have Infamous 1 and 2. You also have the Killzone HD collection. You have the Resistance games. I don't think Sony is ever going to port any of those games to PC. I hope they do at least a PC port of Killzone 2, because I definitely would buy that day one, as long as it has the multiplayer in it. They got to have the multiplayer. And beyond that, there's not really much else that they could release to PC. if we're talking older games, older exclusives. There's also God of War, the God of War games, 5 God of War games from the HD collection on the PS3, and then God of War 3, which was also on PS3. God of War Ascension, they really could keep that shit because that's one of the worst games in the franchise. But yeah, that's what's been released since this leak. Again, almost everything that was in this leak has come true, and Sony has already stated and showed that they want to release more games on PC. Now the big question is, will they start releasing their games, day and date release with the console version, release the PC version on the same day as its console counterpart. They've done that once with Helldivers 2, so it's not out of the realm of possibility. But thus far, I would say if that does happen, it probably won't happen for a while. And the last question I have is what should be released next on PC? After Ghost of Tsushima, after Until Dawn, I think it will be about time for God of War Ragnarok to come to PC, because that originally came out back in, at the tail end of 2022. It's definitely been over a year. And then early next year, in 2025, they should release, or sometime next year, they should release the PC version of Marvel Spider-Man 2. So those should be the next games that they should focus on.